Yo, what's going on, guys? Noobster back with another Wonderlands build video. Today, what I got for y'all is a BrrZerker and a Graveborn build. And we have a special guest today. We got our boy Pheonix.
What's up, everybody? You guys probably already know me, Pheonix, from the Noobsters Discord. Nice to finally join y'all.
Pheonix has been a huge help with getting all the gear. He's literally the primordial god, gets us all the stuff that we need. So go ahead and leave a thanks, Pheonix, if you guys use the build or he's helped you guys out in the Discord. Anyway, Pheonix, let's hop right into it. Do you want to give a quick rundown on our skill tree and what we're playing around with?
Yeah, definitely. So to start off with the BrrZerker skill tree, a lot of this is going to come for our damage. So the first one's Ancestral Frost, which is just our frost damage. That one's going to be maxed out. Then we have Unyielding, which just gives us a little bit more survivability. Icebreaker will be next. That's also just more frost damage for our guns. The Old Ways is going to be a really good way for survivability and damage because the closer we are to our enemies, the more damage we're going to do and the less damage we're going to take. Cold Snap, again, is just mostly for the frost damage. However, Unarmored Defense, that's going to be the most important skill in the build because it takes a portion of reward and turns it into max health. So that's what gives us the insane. I believe we have like 26,000 HP on this.
Oh yeah, and before we keep going, look at the HP right there. 26,000. Well, close to it for me.
Yeah, it's pretty insane with that. And then also the fact that it takes away our shield lets our mood ring always be procced since we're never going to be full. And then after that, our next perk is Ancient Fury. That again is just to increase our health. Our final perk at the very bottom of the BrrZerker tree is just so we can spam our ability. Because this build is all about our next subject, which is going to be Dire Sacrifice. This ability, the more health you have, the more damage it does. So our goal is just to spam it as much as possible to clear out mobs as fast as possible. For the Graveborn skill tree, we don't really have too much going on here. Mortal Vessel, I went all the way into that just for health, again for more damage. Then we have Essence Drain, which will help with the cooldown of our Buffmeister. Dark Pact is kind of our best option here, just to get as far down in the skill tree as we need. So those 4 points you can kind of put wherever. Dread Covenant is again just for survivability. You know, if you by any chance die in this build, which is pretty unlikely, your companion will die instead, and you'll go back to 75 health. And then finally, the most important perk from the Graveborn skill tree is going to be Ascension, and that's just a kill skill that'll increase our maximum health and spell damage, and it gives 10 stacks. So our Buffmeister and our Dire Sacrifice ability will end up doing a lot more damage. And I believe that wraps it up for the skill tree. Lastly, I think we do need to go over our hero stats. The only thing you really need to do for this is max out Constitution for that HP and Ward to get the most out of our damage. And then I also max out Attunement to make sure we can spam our skills as much as possible. Any other points you have left over, you can put wherever you want. I've split them between Strength and Intelligence, but I believe that covers everything, guys.
Yeah, and guys, for Constitution here, with my specific build, when I made this character, I actually have a penalty for this, so your max health could actually be slightly higher than what mine is too. So Pheonix did a great job with that. Thank you so much, man. He's a natural. I honestly, he should start his own channel. That's what I've been telling him this whole time. But let's go ahead and hop right into the inventory. With the inventory, it may look a little standard, but again, we do not want to use pixies, so that's what we do. We have some pixies in the backpack, but honestly, they are not part of the build, and they're just some extra things we threw in there. So if you guys do want to use those for other builds, feel free to grab them from here. They are primordials, so, you know, the best of the best. So going into the weapons, we'll start off with melee, which is probably the least important thing here. We mainly care about the enchant here. It's still a primordial, but the enchant here is what we're looking for. So this one has on spellcast increase frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. Now with all our weapons, except for the head cannon's just a bonus. It's actually a really fun weapon to use in this build. It's not the highest damaging, but it's something different, and if you guys like using the gun, feel free to use it. It's a primordial version, so it does a ton of damage with just general mobbing. But the main 3 weapons, the Nightshade, all of these are snowballing, so they have the same enchant on action skill start, increased damage dealt by 20% for 20 seconds. And since our Dire Sacrifice, literally its cooldown is around like 8 seconds or so, you literally have this up at all times. But the Nightshade, as you guys know, I love the Nightshade, so gotta have that in the build. The Sword Explosion, this one's also a ×3 version, and this also has the same enchant. Moving on, the Queen's Cry, this has the same enchant. All 3 guns are really good. I primarily like to use the Nightshade for mobbing and use the Sword Explosion for bossing. Next, moving on to the rings, we are actually using 2 different types of rings. So we have 1 gun damage ring and 1 ability damage ring. We don't want this build to be focused around gun damage, focused around ability damage solely, because we're using a bunch of different things. So we went ahead and just used 1 of each. The ability damage ring here is a skillful mood ring. It has its bonuses are ability crit damage and action skill cooldown rate. This helps to get our Dire Sacrifice quicker. And unfortunately, with the previous nerf, the effect is not as good because now it's decreased to 33%, but it still does plenty of damage. And then the other one is the Championship Ring. You guys know this one helps with dealing more damage to bosses. This one is our gun damage ring, and this one has 20% bonus shotgun crit damage and 33% extra shotgun magazine size. So that'll help you shoot more and do more damage with your sword explosions. Next, we have the Master Rune. This one has the enchant on action skill start, increase gun damage by 40%. Moving on to the Cape of Tides. This one is mainly to help us get more skills into Graveborn with our max health. And you guys know the Cape of Tides. It's one of the best class mods. Helps apply soaked, and then soaked enemies take more lightning and frost damage. For this, we really care about frost damage. Everything is frost damage for us, so that's the point of this. Moving on, we have an Undying Harbinger. This one has dark magic damage and Graveborn power. This one helps with not only the dark magic efficiency and all that stuff, but also when you activate an action skill, you restore 50% of your reward, which thus helps us with our survivability. And last but not least, we have a Buffmeister, a Cryo Buffmeister, or Ice, whatever it's called. And this one is on spellcast, increase damage dealt by 15% for 10 seconds. This will help with our Dire Sacrifice damage, as well as our regular gun damage for bossing scenarios. So that's a quick rundown of the build, guys. A lot of different moving parts. There's a little bit of flexibility with what you want to use, so give this a go and, try something different. And if there's things that work out better, let me know in the comment section or in my Discord. And yeah, I'll post the build itself in my Discord, so feel free to join and grab any of the gear. In addition, real quick before I stop showing the inventory, we also luckily were able to get the Aphotic enchant with the Graveborn action skill activate. You get extra dark magic damage. So we've also included that in this build. It's not necessarily for the build itself, but it's just extra gear that we got. So feel free to grab that if you need it. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the build. Huge thanks to Pheonix again. Pheonix, do you want to give any final thoughts?
Yeah, I did want to go over 2 pieces of gear we have here. The first being that pickaxe. So one reason we do use that pickaxe is its special ability. Whenever you pick up gold, your movement speed, spell cooldown, and action skill cooldown rate are all increased. So that helps us spam our ability and get our Buffmeister up faster. And then lastly, I wanted to go over the Cape of Tides. I personally wanted to give a thanks to Dynarian. He's also in Noobster's Discord. He helped me come in so clutch with this armor mod here because I grinded for a week straight and could not get the one I needed. But other than that, I mean, Noobster covered everything. That's our build, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, huge shout out, guys. Whoever helps in the build. Our Discord's like super helpful to one another. So if you're not in there, go ahead and join. We can help you guys out. And yeah, thanks for adding about the pickaxe. I completely forgot the ability. But again, huge shout out to whoever helped with the build. Huge shout out to Pheonix. And give this build a go. We'll show you guys some gameplay real quick, and that's the end of the video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please like the video, share, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Peace.